If you could only see Eric right now, he is doing a nice
I'm
little
doing the
jam.
In My House dance.
Little
That's the
shimmy.
Mary Jane Girls, and I can't stop moving when I
And
hear 'em.
it's a good
I
beat.
know, yeah.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole.
That's
We
me.
love to put a little kick in your step while we hear it at Home Wizards.
Yeah.
Improve your home and improve your life. And you, as a contractor, you've seen some serious design flaws.
Design flaw mania I've seen. Yes,
What is
absolutely.
up with it? People just do it wrong.
I think people get misinformed about what is important and essential in homes. And there's a reason that we now have this trend, for example, where we're creating a family space and one large room as a kitchen instead of the old way that we used to design homes, which was they're cooking, get them out of the way.
They're
Don't
hiding.
notice them. They're
Yes.
people that work for us. We can't know that they're there. You know, it's like these tiny little galley kitchens that weren't big enough or roomy enough. That, to me, that's the number one design flaw. It's like, if you're going to build or remodel a home, make it a nice, big, spacious family room where everybody can be a part of the preparation of the food. That's the main place that people hang out in a home anyway. I think that's a really critical component. Also, spas and bathrooms. You know, if you're going to take the time to redo a bathroom, make that a place to honor yourself, where you're really getting a chance to relax and be luxurious in a spot in your own home, where you can shut the door, keep the kids at bay, have a place to find out, kind of reconnect with who you are. I think that's a critical element. Also, things like ventilation. You never really consider the idea that it's so imperative to have the ability to have air and circulation move through. So really properly placed windows where they open. Does it create that lovely feeling in the summer when you just have to open two windows and air goes from point A to point B, and the room feels like it's moving, right? That's great for allergies. That's great for, keeping the house feeling cooler and more ventilated. There's things too, like water management. When we design this house, what are we going to do in terms of, the proper kinds of places to turn the water on and off, where there's low flow toilets, where, all that kind of stuff I think is imperative.
And getting back to the windows thing and how, a lot of people who might live, in the city, right? Or they might live downtown, as so many housing options have become like multi-use. You live in a loft. It used to be a warehouse, and now it's a loft, and there's a Starbucks downstairs.
Right.
And so you're living in this kind of industrialized area where, we're waking up and going to sleep in already kind of treated air. It's heated, it's air conditioned, whatever. And so that's great. The windows are sealed tight. But how about this? The whole idea of the safety. It may make it difficult to get out in the event of a fire.
Right.
Keeping the windows that are all so sealed that help with the heating.
That's right. And the other thing, too, is I don't think people take advantage of natural light. Natural light is a way that you don't have to turn lights on in the house, which is going to save you energy.
And it helps you psychologically.
It does help you psychologically. We all know of rooms or homes or apartments that we rented or lived in the past.
Like a dungeon.
Feels like a dungeon.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be tortured and questioned or something. You want to have that airy, open feeling during the day, and then at night you can close drapes or whatever you have, and you feel like you're cozy and comfortable. But natural light is imperative. But also, to that point, if you've got an extremely intense western exposure where during the afternoon it's going to heat up and make the room so hot that it's unbearable, that's also another consideration.
What about the whole dream that I know that a lot of guys especially might think of, the dream of having that game room where you have a pool table, right? And it's a place where the guys can gather, or maybe they come over every week and have cards and beer, and it's a fun, guy night thing, right?
Right, exactly.
But what if you never really use it, and it now becomes, instead, a place where you store your bills? Or your laundry.
It seems like a great idea at the time. Like, I have that experience in my own life with a ping pong table. I bought a ping pong table thinking this was going to be a great family event and everyone was going to come over and play. Well, guess what? No one ever uses it. It's completely taking up the space in a room that in my back outside area that's a covered porch. I recently folded it up and put it away, and all of a sudden, guess what? I've got space again. It's like, oh, man.
Thank goodness.
No one ever plays here, so we're going to put this thing up. And then guess what? As soon as I put it away, they're all
Everyone
like, where's the ping pong table? Well, you never play, so I put it away. What do you want from me, right?
So now they want it.
You have to really kind of take into consideration the family needs. What are realistic things you're going to do? I know it sounds and looks great to have a poker table in the den because you're going to sit there and play poker every Friday
It's like
night.
this fantasy, right?
Yeah, right.
That we're
But
gonna
you
have
might
this-
not. You may not actually do that. Maybe a foldaway is a much better idea.
And for me, my fantasy, like I think a lot of gals want, is that walk-in closet,
right,
where it's just kind of like surround.
like the one big built for Carrie.
Exactly.
Right.
Where you walk in there
Yeah.
and it could become a room of its own where there's an ottoman and you can sit there and look
Right.
at all your clothes and your shoes and things are happening. But word of the wise, it may not be a good idea because too much storage can be stressful and cluttering.
I'll tell
You know
you,
what I'm
I
saying?
know that a strange phenomena occurred from the 980 square foot home I first purchased some 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Guess what? You fill up what you have. The bigger you go, the bigger you get. Like a fish in a bowl. You give him a small bowl, and the fish stays sort of the similar size. The bigger it goes, the bigger the fish gets.
It's a
right?
whale.
It becomes like Jonah all of a sudden, right? So to my point, you definitely want to watch out. Too much space just creates more junk in our lives. So be careful.
Mm-hmm. What about HVAC matters?
Well, that's a critical component. I know it's not a sexy topic, but what happens is if you don't have the appropriate HVAC system, you may need 2 stages. You may need one upstairs. You may need one down. If you don't have the right insulation, dual glazed windows, the right HVAC system that is efficient, you're going to be in sort of a bad place because, it's inefficient, expensive. What you save buying a less expensive underpowered unit in the future becomes something that you're going to have to repair more because it's working too hard. So, take those things into consideration. That's a really critical thing to do.
What about something as, I don't know, you live in a house that you bought, and what if, that's what you get. You got the floor plan that may not be the most inspired. I guess you're just kind of stuck with it, or is there kind of a workaround, those architectural elements that don't really necessarily work for you at this time?
Yeah, if you have a home and they're not bearing walls, meaning walls that are supporting the roof structure, it's relatively simple to change out that by removing them if you remodel and you don't like the floor plan. You can do things like that. You definitely want to make sure that you're not taking, like I said, the wrong wall out. And the way you do that is you go up into the attic with a flashlight and you find that wall and you look at it. Is it running all the way up to the support system of the roof line? And I would suggest you get a contractor or an engineer in there to make sure that you're not removing the wrong wall. But floor plans are definitely imperative in terms of the way the house feels and looks and ultimately works for you as a family. So, you better make sure it's the right one for your family. Don't walk in there thinking, we'll make do, even though, like we said before, I've got a 4 square foot kitchen and I've got 10 people in my family. It's not going to work for you. So you got to be real clear on what the right floor plan is by visiting a lot of houses. If you're doing open houses in your neighborhood, what feels right when you walk in? What gives you the right feel to live in and ultimately spend the rest of your life in, right?
And if the kitchen's too small, you can't fit enough of those mason jar salads in
And
there.
then you don't have any fiber. And that's a terrible thing to do.
And then everything goes downhill.
Thank
So it's
you.
just not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll put all this on the website. It goes full circle all the time, right?
It does.
Just remember to check in and say hi to us at yourhomewizards.com, yourhomewizards.com. And until this, remember this, that the key is under the mat. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, we love to improve your home and improve your life.
Such a cozy room. The windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them. Fiery gems for you, only for you. I'll light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase.